Dr. Elena Rodriguez wiped the sweat from her forehead as she adjusted the radio equipment in her small research station. The heat on Kepler 442b was getting worse each day, and the cooling system was barely working. She had been alone on this distant world for 6 months, studying the strange plants and animals that lived here. The job was supposed to be simple. Watch the local alien species called the Zephyrians from a safe distance. Take notes. Send reports back to Earth. Do not make contact. Those were her orders, and Elena had followed them perfectly until today. The signal came through her equipment like a scream in the darkness. It was not the usual peaceful chatter of the Zephyrians that she had been listening to for months. This was different. This was desperate. Elena's hands moved quickly over her keyboard as she worked to clean up the signal. The Zephyrian language was still new to her, but she had learned enough to understand the basic words. What she heard made her blood run cold. Double quotes. Please. Anyone. Help us. Dying. Plague spreads. Children first. No cure. Please respond. The message repeated over and over. Elena could hear the fear in the alien voice. She looked out, her window toward the Zephyrian city in the distance. Even from here, she could see that something was wrong. There were no lights moving in the streets, no flying vehicles in the air. The busy city that she had watched for months was now dark and still. Elena knew she should call Earth Command right away, but first she needed to know more. She turned her equipment toward the city and began scanning for life signs. What she found made her stomach drop. The population readings were falling fast. Yesterday, there had been over 2 million Zephyrians in the city. Today, there were less than 1 million. Whatever this plague was, it was killing them quickly. Elena grabbed her communication device and called Admiral Jake Morrison at Terra Command. The signal would take 20 minutes to reach Earth, and another 20 minutes for his reply to come back. In a crisis like this, 40 minutes felt like forever. Admiral Morrison, this is Dr. Rodriguez on Kepler 442b. Emergency situation. The Zephyrians are dying from some kind of plague. They are sending out distress calls asking for help. I repeat, they are asking for help. Population has dropped by half in just 1 day. Please advise immediately. While she waited for the reply, Elena continued monitoring the alien broadcasts. The situation was getting worse by the hour. The Zephyrians were talking about their children dying first. Their hospitals were full. Their doctors could not find a cure. But what worried Elena most was something else she heard in their messages. The Zephyrians were calling out to the young species they had been watching. They meant humans. They knew Earth was there, and they were asking humans for help. The problem was that the Zephyrians had no idea what humans really were. Elena had read the classified reports. She knew what the other alien races in the galaxy thought about humans. They called humans Deathworlders, because Earth was one of the most dangerous planets anyone had ever seen. Most aliens came from safe, peaceful worlds. Humans came from a world full of storms, earthquakes, deadly animals, and poisonous plants. Other alien races were afraid of humans. They thought humans were too aggressive, too strong, too dangerous. Most aliens had never even tried to talk to humans. They just stayed away and hoped humans would stay away too. But the Zephyrians were different. They had been secretly watching humans for years, thinking humans were just another peaceful species like themselves. They had no idea that calling for human help might bring something the galaxy had never seen before. Admiral Morrison's reply finally came through. Dr. Rodriguez understood. We are mobilizing the Salvation Fleet immediately. Medical ships, engineering support, and full humanitarian aid package. Admiral Morrison commanding. ETA to your location in 6 days. Continue monitoring and report any changes. Elena felt relief wash over her. The Salvation Fleet was Earth's newest and most advanced rescue operation. It had been built specifically for situations like this. The fleet included the biggest hospital, ships humanity had ever made, engineering vessels that could rebuild entire cities, and enough medical supplies to help millions of people. But Elena also felt a growing fear. She knew what those ships looked like to other aliens. The hospital ships were huge and powerful. The engineering vessels carried equipment that could move mountains, and the escort ships that protected them were some of the most advanced warships. In human space. To humans, it was a rescue fleet. To the rest of the galaxy, it would look like an invasion armada. Elena tried to push that thought away as she continued monitoring the Zephyrian broadcasts. The aliens were still sending their desperate calls for help. They had no idea what was coming their way. 6 days later, she would learn just how dangerous it could be when the galaxy's most feared species decided to help Dot as Elena worked through the night, translating more of the Zephyrian distress calls and preparing reports for the incoming fleet. She could not shake the feeling that this rescue mission was about to become something much bigger and much more dangerous than anyone had imagined. The Zephyrians needed help, and humanity was coming to give it. But the rest of the galaxy was about to see the largest human fleet ever assembled heading toward an alien world. Some mistakes, Elena thought as she watched the dying city in the distance, were bigger than others. Captain Lisa Harper stood on the bridge of the U.S. Liberty, watching the stars blur past as the massive ship moved through hyperspace. Around her, the crew worked quietly at their stations, preparing for what they all hoped would be a successful rescue mission. The Liberty was the largest hospital ship humanity had ever built. It was 3 kilometers long and carried enough medical equipment to treat an entire planet. Behind it, 17 other ships followed in formation. Medical ships, engineering vessels, supply carriers, and escort destroyers all moved together toward the dying world of Kepler 442b. "Captain, we will drop out of hyperspace in 4 hours," reported Lieutenant Ben Carter from the navigation station. "All ships are maintaining formation and running system checks." Lisa nodded and walked over to the medical bay, where Dr. Peter Clark was briefing his team. The doctor was a tall man with gray hair and kind eyes. He had volunteered for this mission the moment he heard about the alien plague. "The Zephyrians appear to be dying from some kind of biological agent," Dr. Clark explained to his medical staff. "We do not know if it affects humans, so full protective gear at all times. Our job is to find a cure and treat as many patients as possible." "Doctor, how many Zephyrians are we talking about?" asked Nurse Katie Miller. Reports from Dr. Rodriguez suggest the population was over 2 million when this started. Now it might be less than half that number. We need to work fast. Lisa continued her tour of the ship, checking on the different departments. In the engineering section, Commander Amy Foster was preparing equipment that could rebuild entire cities. Portable power plants, water purification systems, and temporary housing units filled the cargo bays. "We can have basic services running in any city within 24 hours, Commander Foster told Lisa. "If their infrastructure is damaged, we can fix it. If it is completely destroyed, we can build it again from scratch." The escort ships that protected the fleet were smaller, but just as advanced. Captain Ryan Torres commanded the destroyer U.S. Defender, which flew alongside the Liberty. His job was to make sure the rescue ships could do their work safely. But while the human fleet raced toward the alien world, something else was happening in another part of the galaxy. On the central station of the Galactic Council, Ambassador Kyle Bennett sat in his office reading reports that made him more worried with each page. The other alien races were talking about the human fleet, and they were not saying good things. Kyle was one of only 3 humans who worked with the Galactic Council. Most alien races still refuse to have any contact with humans. They considered humans too dangerous, too unpredictable, too violent. Kyle had spent 5 years trying to change their minds, but progress was slow. Now he was reading intelligence reports from alien spy networks. They had detected the human fleet moving through space, and they were terrified. 18 human warships moving in attack formation towards Zephyrian space, read one report from the Crystalline Empire. Energy signatures suggest heavy weapons and advanced shielding. Recommend immediate military response. Another report from the insectoid hives was even worse. Human Deathworlder fleet detected. Size and composition consistent with invasion force. The young species finally shows its true nature. We must act before they establish a foothold in this sector. Kyle tried to send messages to the other ambassadors, explaining that the human ships were on a rescue mission. But his messages were either ignored or misunderstood. The other aliens could not believe that the feared Deathworlders would risk their lives to save a species they had never met. Meanwhile, on the war station of the Crystalline Empire, Admiral Vexstar was assembling the largest military fleet his people had ever created. The crystalline ships looked like giant diamonds floating in space, their surfaces reflecting light in beautiful patterns. But these ships were not built for beauty. They were built for war. How many ships do we have ready? Admiral Vexstar asked his staff. 47 battle cruisers, 62 destroyers, and 25 support vessels, replied his aide. The insectoid hives are sending another 30 ships. The Plant Federation is contributing 15 more. Good. What about the other races? Most are sending at least a few ships. Everyone is scared of what the humans might do if they establish a base in Zephyrian space. At the same time, General Mordak of the insectoid hives was preparing his own forces. The insectoid ships looked like giant metal bugs with sharp wings and glowing eyes. They were fast and deadly, designed to swarm enemy fleets like angry insects. The humans think they can intimidate us with their Deathworlder technology. General Mordak clicked to his officers. They are wrong. We will show them that the galaxy will not bow to their aggression. Neither Admiral Vexstar nor General Mordak knew that the human ships were carrying doctors and engineers instead of soldiers and weapons. They saw the energy signatures of advanced human technology and assumed the worst. Back on the UES Liberty, Captain Lisa Harper received a message from Zusso. Admiral Morrison on Earth. The news was not good. Captain Harper, our intelligence suggests that multiple alien fleets are moving toward your location. They appear to believe your mission is hostile. Be prepared for contact with potentially aggressive forces. Do not fire first, but defend yourselves. If attacked, the safety of your crews and the success of the rescue mission are your top priorities. Lisa shared the message with her senior officers. Dr. Clark looked confused. Why would they think we are hostile? We are bringing medical aid. Because they do not understand us, Lisa replied. To them, we are the scary aliens from the dangerous world. They see our ships and think invasion, not rescue. Commander Foster shook her head. This is insane. We are trying to save lives. No, Lisa said, but we have a job to do. Those Zephyrians are still dying, and we are their only hope. We will complete this mission no matter what. As the human fleet continued toward Kepler 442b, neither they nor the alien armadas racing to intercept them realized they were all heading toward the same destination for completely different reasons. The stage was set for the biggest misunderstanding in galactic history. The human fleet dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Zephyrian system with a flash of blue light. Captain Lisa Harper watched the main screen as the sensors began mapping the local area. What they found made everyone on the bridge go silent. Captain, I am reading massive energy signatures throughout the system, reported Lieutenant Ben Carter. Multiple fleets, hundreds of ships. Lisa felt her heart sink. The alien armadas had arrived first. She could see them on the scanner, spread across space like a net waiting to catch prey. Crystalline Empire ships glittered like diamonds. Insectoid hive vessels moved in swarm patterns. Ships from a dozen other alien races formed battle lines between the humans and the dying planet below. "How many ships are we looking at?" Lisa asked. "Over 300, Captain." "They have us outnumbered 15-1. On the UES Defender, Captain Ryan Torres was also studying the enemy formations. His destroyer was fast and well-armed, but even his best weapons would not make much difference against so many ships. All escort ships maintained defensive positions around the medical vessels. Ryan ordered over the fleet communication channel, "Do not power weapons unless fired upon first. We are here to save lives, not start a war." But the alien fleet saw something very different when the human ships appeared. Admiral Vexstar stood on the bridge of his flagship, watching the sensor readings with growing alarm. "Look at those energy signatures," he said to his officers. "Those ships are more advanced than our intelligence reports suggested. And look at the size of that flagship." The UES Liberty was indeed impressive. At 3 kilometers long, it was larger than most alien battleships. Its medical equipment generated energy readings that looked like weapon systems to alien sensors. The portable hospitals and surgical suites showed up as potential weapons laboratories. "Admiral, the humans are scanning our positions," reported his tactical officer. "Their targeting systems are active." Admiral Vexstar did not know that the human scans were medical in nature, designed to detect plague victims on the planet below. To him, it looked like the humans were choosing targets for attack. General Mordeck was having similar thoughts on his command ship. The insectoid leader clicked his mandibles nervously as he watched the human fleet take formation. "They are not retreating," he observed. "Even outnumbered, they hold their position. This confirms they are as aggressive as the reports claimed." "General, should we fire a warning shot?" asked one of his officers. "Not yet. Let them make the first move. Then we can claim self-defense when we destroy them." On the planet below, Elder Zalish was watching the space battle preparations with growing horror. The elderly Zephyrian leader had spent his whole life studying the stars, but he had never seen so many warships in one place. "Why are they fighting above our world?" he asked his advisors. "We called for help, not war." "Elder, the humans have come as we asked," replied his aide. "But it appears the other races want to stop them." Zalish felt a deep sadness in his hearts. His people were dying below while potential saviors fought in the sky above them. Every hour that passed meant more Zephyrian children would not see another sunrise. Back in her research station, Dr. Eleni Rodriguez was frantically trying to contact both fleets. Her small communication array was not powerful enough to reach the warships in space, but she kept trying anyway. "This is Dr. Rodriguez to all ships. The humans are here on a rescue mission. Repeat, this is a medical emergency, not an invasion. Please do not fire." Her message was lost in the electronic noise created by hundreds of ships scanning each other with their sensors. On the UES Liberty, Dr. Peter Clark was becoming more frustrated by the minute. Through his medical scanners, he could see the plague spreading across the planet below. Millions were dying while armies faced each other in space. "Captain Harper, we need to get to that planet now," he told Lisa. "Every minute we delay means more deaths." "I know, Doctor, but if we move toward the planet, they might see it as an attack," Lisa replied. "We need to find a way to communicate. Our intentions first." Lisa opened a channel to all frequencies and began broadcasting. "This is Captain Lisa Harper of the Earth rescue vessel UES Liberty. We are responding to a distress call from the Zephyrian people We carry medical supplies and personnel. We are not a military force. Please allow us to proceed to the planet to provide humanitarian aid." Her message reached the alien fleets, but they did not believe it. Admiral Vextar laughed when he heard the transmission. "Humanitarian aid?" he said to his crew. "Look at those ships. No one builds vessels that large just to carry medicine." What Admiral Vextar did not understand was that treating an entire planet required massive resources. The human hospital ships were large because they needed to be. The engineering vessels looked military because they carried equipment powerful enough to rebuild cities. The tension continued to build as both sides waited for the other to make the first move. Then something happened that no one expected. A young crystalline officer, nervous from hours of waiting, accidentally triggered his ship's warning shot system. A bright beam of energy lanced across space and struck the U.S. Liberty's shields. "Captain, we are taking fire," shouted Lieutenant Carter. Lisa felt her ship shake as the alien weapon hit their defensive systems. The shields held, but alarms began, ringing throughout the medical vessel. All ships, defensive positions. Captain Torres ordered from the U.S. Defender, "Protect the medical vessels." The human escort ships moved quickly to form a protective screen around the larger rescue ships. To the alien fleets, this looked like an attack formation. "They are moving to assault positions," Admiral Vextar announced. "All ships open fire." The space around Kepler 442b suddenly exploded with weapons fire. Crystalline energy beams met human plasma cannons. Insectoid missiles streaked toward human shields. The medical ships that had come to save lives found themselves in the middle of the galaxy's largest space battle. Dr. Clark held on to his medical equipment as the U.S. Liberty shook under enemy fire. "This is madness," he said. "We came here to heal, not to fight." But the fight had started, and now both sides were committed to it. Neither the humans nor the aliens realized they were all there for the same basic reason. They all wanted to protect innocent lives. The only difference was who they thought the innocent ones were. The space battle raged for 20 minutes before Dr. Elena Rodriguez finally found a way to stop it. In her small research station on the planet below, she had been working desperately to break through the electronic interference that was jamming all communications between the fleets. Elena knew she was the only person who understood what was really happening. She had watched the human ships arrive with their medical equipment. She had seen the alien fleets gather to stop what they thought was an invasion. And she had watched both sides start shooting because neither understood the other. Come on, Elena muttered as she worked with an old Zephyrian communication device she had found in the ruins of their city. The device was primitive compared to human technology, but it used a different frequency that might cut through the interference. Above her, explosions lit up the sky as human and alien ships exchanged fire. The U.S. Liberty was holding its position, its powerful shields absorbing hit after hit from enemy weapons. But Elena could see that the big medical ship was starting to take damage. Finally, her makeshift transmitter came online. Elena took a deep breath and began broadcasting on all frequencies. "This is Dr. Elena Rodriguez, Earth Observer, on Kepler 442b. All ships stop firing immediately. The humans are here on a medical mission. Repeat, the humans are responding to a Zephyrian distress call. They are carrying medical supplies, not weapons. Stop shooting and let them help." Her message was weak, but it reached both fleets. On the U.S. Liberty, Captain Lisa Harper heard the transmission and immediately ordered her ships to stop firing. "All vessels, cease fire. Repeat, cease fire. Broadcasting our medical mission data on all channels." Lisa ordered her crew to transmit everything. Medical supply lists, hospital ship layouts, rescue operation plans, and the original Zephyrian distress call. The data flooded through space toward the alien fleets. On the crystalline flagship, Admiral Vextar was studying the human transmissions with growing confusion. His intelligence officers were translating the data as fast as they could. "Admiral, these are not weapon specifications," reported his chief analyst. "These appear to be medical equipment manifests. Surgical tools, medicine, portable hospitals." "That cannot be right," Admiral Vextar replied. "Check the data again." But the more his officers studied the human transmissions, the clearer it became. The massive UES Liberty was not a battleship disguised as a medical vessel. It was actually a medical vessel that was large enough to handle planetary emergencies. General Mordock was reaching the same conclusion on his command ship. His technical experts were examining the energy signatures from the human fleet with new understanding. "General, those power readings we thought were weapons. They appear to be medical scanners and life support systems," reported his science. "Officer, the large ships are configured for treating massive numbers of patients. What about their escort ships?" General Mordock asked. "Standard defensive vessels, but their weapons are powered down. They are only defending, not attacking." The fighting began to slow as both sides tried to understand what was happening. Some ships stopped firing completely. Others continued shooting, but with less intensity. The electronic jamming that had been blocking communications started to fade. On the planet below, Elder Zalish finally managed to contact the orbital fleets using the main Zephyrian transmitter in their capital city. "This is Elder Zalish of the Zephyrian people." His voice carried clearly to all the ships above. "We sent the distress call. Our people are dying from a plague. We asked the humans for help because we have been watching them, and they seemed kind. Please stop fighting and let them land. Our children are dying while you fight in our sky." The elder's words hit the alien commanders like a physical blow. Admiral Vextar felt shame wash over him as he realized what he had done. The humans had come to save lives, and he had tried to stop them. "All crystalline ships, stand down immediately," Admiral Vextar ordered. "Withdraw to defensive positions, but do not fire unless fired upon." General Mordock was struggling with the same realization. The feared Deathworlders had traveled across the galaxy to answer a distress call from a species they had never met. Instead of conquest, they had brought medicine. "Insectoid fleet, cease all hostile actions." General Mordock clicked to his ships. "The humans... they are here to help." Captain Lisa Harper watched her sensors as the alien ships began to pull back. The immediate threat was over, but she could see that some of her escort ships had taken damage. More importantly, they had lost precious time while the plague continued to spread on the planet below. "Dr. Clark, how quickly can we get medical teams to the surface?" Lisa asked. "Give me 2 hours to prepare the first wave," Dr. Clark replied. "But Captain, we should work with the alien medical staff too. Some of their species might have immunity factors that could help us develop a cure faster." Lisa opened a communication channel to Admiral Vextar and General Mordock. "This is Captain Harper. We would welcome any medical assistance your fleets can provide. We have a planet to save, and we could use all the help we can get." Admiral Vextar was surprised by the human offer. Even after being attacked, the humans were asking for cooperation instead of demanding apologies. "Captain Harper, the Crystalline Empire has advanced medical technology. We will provide whatever assistance we can," Admiral Vextar responded. "General," Mordock added, "the insectoid hives have experience with biological agents. Our doctors will work with yours." Dr. Elena Rodriguez smiled as she listened to the communications from her station. The fighting had stopped, and now everyone was focused on the real enemy, the plague that was killing the Zephyrians. But the relief was mixed with urgency. The battle had lasted only 20 minutes, but in that time, thousands more Zephyrians had died. The medical teams would have to work together quickly to save those who were still alive. As the first human medical shuttles prepared to land on the planet, escorted by alien ships that had been trying to destroy them just minutes before, Dr. Rodriguez realized that something important had changed in the galaxy. For the first time in history, humans and the other alien races were working together toward a common goal. The misunderstanding that had almost started a war was becoming the foundation for something better. The real rescue mission was just beginning. 3 days after the space battle ended, the city that had been dying was now full of life again. Dr. Peter Clark stood in the main hospital that had been built from human and alien technology working together. Around him, human doctors worked, alongside crystalline healers and insectoid medical specialists to treat the last of the plague victims. "The cure is working perfectly," Dr. Clark told Captain Lisa Harper as she visited the medical center. "The combination of human medicine, crystalline healing crystals, and insectoid biological knowledge created something none of us could have made alone." Lisa smiled as she watched a young Zephyrian child playing with toys that had been brought by the alien fleets. Just 3 days ago, that same child had been close to death. Now she was laughing and running around the hospital ward. "How many have we saved?" Lisa asked. "Over 800,000 Zephyrians are now completely healthy," Dr. Clark replied. "We lost too many in the first few days, but everyone who was still alive when we started working together has been cured." Outside the hospital, Commander Amy Foster was overseeing the reconstruction of the Zephyrian city. Human engineering equipment worked next to crystalline building machines and insectoid construction swarms. What had taken the Zephyrians decades to build was being rebuilt in just a few days. "The new water system will be online tomorrow," Commander Foster reported to Lisa over her communication device. "The crystalline water purification technology is amazing. It is 10 times more efficient than our systems." Captain Ryan Torres was coordinating with the alien fleet commanders to establish patrol routes around the system. His former enemies were now working with him to protect the recovering planet. "Admiral Vextar has been very helpful," Ryan told Lisa. "His ships have sensors that can detect biological threats from much farther away than ours can. If another plague ever threatens this system, we will know about it weeks before it arrives." But the biggest changes were happening in the halls of government. Elder Zalish was meeting with representatives from Earth, the Crystalline Empire, the Insectoid Hives, and a dozen other alien races. They were creating something that had never existed before, a joint organization dedicated to helping worlds in crisis. "We will call it the Galactic Rescue Compact," Elder Zalish announced to the gathered representatives. "Any world that faces disaster can call for help, and all member races will respond together." Ambassador Kyle Bennett, who had arrived from the Galactic Council Station, was amazed by how quickly attitudes toward humans had changed. 3 days ago, most alien races had been afraid of humanity. Now they were eager to work with humans on rescue missions. The other races are starting to understand that human strength comes from wanting to protect others, Kyle told Lisa during a private meeting. They see now that being from a dangerous world made humans good at handling dangerous situations. Dr. Elena Rodriguez had been asked to become the first human ambassador to the Zephyrian people. She accepted the position gladly, knowing that her small research station would now become the center of human Zephyrian cooperation. "I have spent months watching your people from a distance," Elena told Elder Zalish. "Now I look forward to working with you directly to build a better future for both our species." The formal ceremony to establish the Galactic Rescue Compact took place in the rebuilt Zephyrian capital. Representatives from 43 different alien races attended. Captain Lisa Harper was chosen to command the first Joint Rescue Fleet, with Admiral Vextar as her second in command. "6 months ago, I thought humans were monsters," Admiral Vexstar said during his speech at the ceremony. "Today, I know that. Humans are the friends we never knew we needed. They came to save strangers and ended up saving all of us from our own fear and prejudice." General Mordak spoke for the insectoid hives. "We have learned that the galaxy is safer when we work together instead of apart. The humans showed us that true strength means being willing to risk everything to help others." Elder Zalish gave the final speech of the ceremony. "My people sent out a call for help, never knowing that it would change the galaxy forever. We asked for medicine and received friendship. We asked for aid and received alliance. The mistake in our distress call was not sending it. The mistake would have been not sending it." As the ceremony ended, Lisa looked up at the sky, where the joint fleet was preparing for its first mission. Reports had come in about a mining accident on a distant world. Human hospital ships, crystalline engineering vessels, and insectoid rescue swarms were already preparing to respond together. Dr. Clark approached Lisa with a smile. "Captain, we just received another distress call. A space station in the outer rim is having life support failures. They are asking specifically for the Galactic Rescue Compact to help them." "How long until we can launch?" Lisa asked. "The joint fleet can be ready in 6 hours. All species have medical teams standing by." Lisa nodded and activated her communication device to address all the ships in orbit. "This is Captain Harper to all Galactic Rescue Compact vessels. We have our first official mission. Prepare for immediate departure to assist a space station in distress." As the mixed fleet of human and alien ships prepared to jump to hyperspace, Lisa thought about how much had changed in just 1 week. A misunderstood distress call had almost started a war, but instead it had created the foundation for lasting peace. The galaxy was a smaller place now, and a safer one. When disaster struck, help would come not from one species, but from all. Of them working together, Dr. Elena Rodriguez watched the rescue fleet disappear into hyperspace from her new office in the Zephyrian capital. She opened her communication log to make her daily report to Earth Command. "This is Ambassador Rodriguez reporting from Kepler 442b. The Galactic Rescue Compact is now fully operational. Humanity has found its place in the galaxy not as conquerors, but as protectors. The SOS was not a mistake after all. It was exactly what the galaxy needed." High above, the stars seemed a little brighter, knowing that help was always just a distress call away.